Here's Shay Norling.
PFF wrote up a piece offering a ceiling and a floor for each of the NFL's second-year quarterbacks. For Caleb Williams,
The Chicago Bears are trash.
yeah, pretty much. They wrote his floor as, quote, bust, which I think is fair. That should be the case for all of the second-year quarterbacks. They could all just be terrible in their second year with a floor of busting out of the league. His ceiling, though, was Jordan Love.
Oh, no.
Shot or no shot, that ceiling is too low.
That ceiling's way too low.
That's
Who wrote this? ESPN, but which person?
Oh, it's PFF.
Oh, PFF.
So Chris Collinsworth.
Personally,
No
yeah.
shot.
Chris Collinsworth personally came from the executive offices to write a piece on the second-year quarterbacks.
So so that is if the ceiling is Jordan Love, Cap, we're doomed.
Some guy named John Costco at PFF.
Okay.
Tell him to go back and work in his grocery store
Yeah.
or whatever you call that.
Go back
big
to
box.
Wholesale Foods, guy.
There's a made-up name.
Costco.
There's a pen name if there ever was one. John Costco. That's BS.
Yeah, that's just a stupid article.
As phony as the name is Jonathan Hood.
This is awesome. Like, I'm reading through more of this. This is great. Hoodie, you're going to love this.
All right.
Drake Maye. Ceiling Trevor Lawrence, floor Daniel Jones. That's the same quarterback.
We just did the side-by-side comparison. Just a minute. Same numbers, same guy.
Yeah, Dan Costco, he's not going to be employed much longer.
Oh, this is, you know what?
That his name? Dan, you said?
John Costco.
Oh, John Costco. John's not going to have a job much longer.
You know, this is a great around the NFL. Is there a whole bunch of those, Shay? Those quarterbacks?
It's all the second-year quarterbacks, yeah.
That's a good around the NFL. To answer your question, Cap, there's no way that the ceiling for him is Jordan Love. Now, here's the thing. Jordan Love, pretty good kid. Game changer, probably not.
He's pretty good. He's a solid quarterback.
We need more than solid after all these years of waiting for the guy.
$55 million a year, you do. Let's see if we can guess who they are. Read the next one, Shay.
Jayden Daniels.
Okay, ceiling has got to be Lamar Jackson.
Bingo.
Okay.
That's great.
Floor, Justin Fields.
Oh,
No.
my God.
Higher than that.
Oh, my God.
The floor is higher than that.
Okay, floor is
Think football helmet that looks way too big for his body.
Tyrod Taylor.
No.
Brother.
I'm just going to give it to you, Kyler Murray.
Oh wow.
Okay.
He's better than Kyler Murray.
Guess J.J. McCarthy.
J.J. McCarthy.
'Cause I think this is ridiculous.
Is Dilfer on there?
I'm going to say he has.
They're all active quarterbacks.
Okay.
The ceiling is Justin Herbert.
Wrong. I think this. I'm going to give you the ceiling. I think it's absolutely absurd, and it tells me you have not watched J.J. McCarthy play football.
So what is it?
Joe Burrow.
Oh, no.
They
no.
don't
Oh,
even
my
play
God.
remotely the same style.
No, it's not Joe Burrow. Boy, you'd hope, boy. If he's Joe Burrow for Minnesota, Minnesota's winning the championship.
He will never be Joe Burrow. Even if he's the greatest version of J.J. McCarthy that you could create in a laboratory, he wouldn't be Joe Burrow. He'd be closer to Mahomes. He doesn't play the same style of football as Joe Burrow.
Yeah, and I know as football fans say that. So, well, Hood, what does Burrow won? What I'm saying is that with the amount of talent offensively, Cap, for Minnesota, imagine a Joe Burrow type with the Vikings. That would be amazing. I think that's next level for the Vikings, but I don't think that that's who McCarthy is. I watched him in college. He's not that.
Yeah.
And
No shot.
Sharon Moore agrees.
He's a runner.
These guys did it, man.
How do you take a speedy, athletic, running quarterback and compare him to Joe Burrow?
Yeah, that's a bad comp. What's the floor?
Sam Darnold, which I also find a little ridiculous because I imagine they're comparing him to Vikings Sam Darnold, who is not what I think Sam Darnold actually is.
Yes. You pull off the mask.
A rat fraud.
In Scooby-Doo. And it's like, hey, you kids, I could have got away with it if it wasn't for you crazy kids. That's who Sam Burrow is. I'm sorry, it's who Sam Darnold is.
And again, neither of these quarterbacks play the style that J.J. McCarthy plays.
Yes. I would have gotten away with it.
This whole list is nonsense. Bo Nix's ceiling is Drew Brees. Oh, okay. Well, it's because Sean Payton coaches him and he's kind of short.
J.J. McCarthy's floor is Jim Harbaugh as a player. Shay's too young to remember him. That's who he is.
Jim was fine. Jim was a fine quarterback. Yeah, fine quarterback.
Run, tough, hard-nosed. Yeah. Guys love playing with him. Yes.
Jim could play.
Jim was a solid player. He wasn't a great player. Now, if you tell me the ceiling, I had the floor as Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
The ceiling? Wow. Dak Prescott.
Fine. I actually like that quite a bit.
Fine. That'll work.
There you go.
Damn near a bum, but that's fine.
Yeah, that plays for me.
Oh, no. Jay Moore's getting started here. He's a bum.
We seen a true service academy quarterback in the NFL before? Like
here we go.
Back in the 40s, maybe, when Army was winning national titles. But
here he goes,
seen
folks.
this.
Here he goes, folks.
I can't wait to see Kevin O'Connell run the wing T.
Just to throw away from winning that national championship with EA Sports College football, Shay, with Air Force. Almost won the championship with Air Force.
They have a fun offense.
Yeah. Same thing. All right, what else do we have?
MLB insiders think the Boston Red Sox are going to end up being sellers at the trade deadline. Despite what the Red Sox will tell you, they think they're going to be buyers. They're going to replace the Devers money. Nobody in baseball really believes that. They just keep losing games. They aren't good enough. Jarren Duran and Alex Bregman have been listed as the top trade candidates. And with Matt Shaw struggling, Cubs obviously having been in on Bregman in the offseason, shot or no shot, if the Red Sox do sell, the Cubs should trade for Alex Bregman.
That's a shot. I said to you guys the other day, I believe that Matt Shaw is going to be a really good player. I think Alex Bregman, everything Shea tells me he reads and what I hear, he's planning on opting out if he has a good season the rest of the year. But if he doesn't opt out, I've got him for 2 years at, $80 million? That's, for that level of player, that's the price of doing business. But I could move Matt Shaw into the John Birdie or Vidal Sassoon role, and I can play
what?
Alex you know what I'm talking about. Vidal Brujan.
What are you doing over there? You and your jazz hands. What are you doing over there with Vidal's ooh la la Sassoon?
Yeah, exactly. That was the big hair stuff when I had hair. But I would put Bregman at third, Matt Shaw in the utility role. Next year's the last year of Nico's deal. He may become – you can't pay everybody. I know everyone thinks you can. You can't. And he's going to get paid more money. And so maybe he's gone. Maybe – the kid Triantos comes in. Maybe Matt Shaw moves over to second if you keep Alex Bregman. Yeah, you should be all in. There should not be a player out there that you can't afford if they're available for you to go win. Like if the Rangers called the Cubs and said, "All right, we're selling. We've got some financial stuff going on down here. We're selling, and we could trade you Jacob deGrom, and he'll waive his no trade." Done.
Yeah. That's a shot.
Done. I'll take all $95 million, and why don't you throw Nathan Eovaldi on top of it? I'll take those two starters. Let's go. And try and win a World Series.
I'll say that's a shot because you're trying to go all in. I'd love to have Bregman. Again, Matt Shaw is there, but you like Bregman because that's the genuine article.
This is breaking news on Chicago's home for sports, ESPN 1000.
We turn to veteran newsman Shay Norling with breaking news. Here on Kap and J Hood, Shay.
Yeah, kind of actually stunning. This normally would not be sounder-worthy, but the context it's happening in, I think it is. Apparently, in the moments after the NBA draft, the Toronto Raptors have fired their head front office man, Masai Ujiri.
He's awesome.
That is stunning, by the way.
Two things here. One, the Bulls just extended their front office, and now one of the best front office guys ostensibly in basketball is just there, available for you. Two, shot or no shot, he got fired because Murray Boyle, the kid from South Carolina, said F on live television reacting to being drafted there.
Probably so. That probably is a shot.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I say no shot because of Colin Murray Boyle's going F, but he's entering the final year of his deal. The team is not good, and they don't want to pay the level that he commands. But if I'm Michael Reinsdorf, hey, Arturas, I know I extended you. I didn't see this happening. Just like when Craig Counsell became available, and they had already said, Ricketts and Jed had said, oh, yeah, David Ross will be back. And a month later, he got fired.
No, that's
gone.
No, Cap, that's how you do it. That's how you
do it.
Yeah, that's how he's like, you know what? Someone came along that's better. He has a championship. He's always had pretty much a stable franchise with Toronto. If Michael Reinsdorf had a set, he would look at the landscape and go, we're stuck in neutral. Your jury knows how to be able to cultivate talent, bring in the right head. Again, he and Billy could work together as a front office team, head coach, and a GM. And I think your jury could bring in the right players because I've seen this with Toronto. So I'm surprised that this has happened today. But a good organization, Cap, would say, yeah, AK, Eversley, sorry, guys, I know that you're paid, but we need to upgrade right now. Your jury would be the guy right now. You're trying to step up in class, especially with some of the injuries we see in the East. Find someone that could be able to bring talent in. And I think your jury would be that guy. That's the right hire. If you're the Bulls.
I would be if it was me, you know me. I'm impulsive. That guy's a winner. He's won a championship.
Yeah.
They have denied teams talking to him for years. Guess what? I would literally, if I was Michael, Dad, yeah, what's up, Mike? I need the plane. For what? I'm going to get Masai Ujiri. I'm going to literally knock on his door with a contract.
Do you
I don't care what it costs.
Do you know how much gas prices are to get the plane? Are you kidding me?
This is also why you don't extend bad people, because now you're stuck. You've sunk a cost. And if you did want to fire them, you'd have to buy them out of the extension you just gave them.
Shay, how are you stuck? You have a franchise that if you put it on the market right now, the Lakers went for $10 billion. This valuation here will be $7, $8 billion.
We can live
minimum?
in fantasy land or we can live in the real world. They're not going to buy out these contracts. You and I both know it.
That's a different story.
If they hadn't, but my point is, if they hadn't extended them, this is an easy call.
But
boom,
why does
you're both
but
gone?
let me ask you a question, Shay. Let's assume Arturas makes $4 million and Mark Eversley makes $1.5 million. Why does $5.5, $6 million have any bearing on a franchise worth nearly $7.5 billion or more?
I'm not telling you that it should, but you
if
know
I was
that
the
it
owner,
does.
Jay,
But you aren't the owner. I'm making a point of what the Reinsdorfs will do right now, and we know they're not buying two guys out.
But what about what they should do? The money should
That's
not
fine.
be a factor.
I agree with you.
No, but you understand what he's saying, Cap, is like in reality, that's not how the Reinsdorfs work because of their loyalty to a fault. And so that's why there won't be change. But your point is correct. If I am Michael and Jerry Reinsdorf and I could find someone who could do the job better than just stand in neutral, I would get your jury tomorrow. Absolutely, I would.
What the Cubs did with Counsell.
I would definitely do that. But, I mean, again, we're talking about the Bulls. There's a reason why we did the exercise of the front office urgency. We had the Bulls fifth. Why do you think that is? Because it's not just AK and Eversley. It's about ownership as well. So I'm stunned by seeing this. I gotta make a call here.
Have we ever seen a GM fired in the wake of the draft? How do you let him do the draft?
Yeah, there was one in the NFL that got let go 2 days after the NFL draft a couple years ago.
I recall that, yeah. Yeah, I do recall that.
And Jim Hendry, to his credit, did the draft. They fired him, and he stayed on until August, and no one knew it except yours truly. And he negotiated the signings because he had great relationships with the agents. And he and Tom shook hands. He got fired in June. They did not release it until August. Yes, that's a fact.